Tonight, the Angels look to build on the momentum of a sweep in Toronto as the Tigers pay a visit to the Big A. It's the start of a 10-game homestand, and you have the best seat in the house on Prime Ticket.
Gorgeous day in Anaheim. The Angels return home to start a 10-game homestand. Detroit Tigers are in the house. The first of 4 as we welcome you inside Angel Stadium. I'm Victor Rojas, along with Mark Gubiza. Glad you could join us here for Angels baseball. And the Halos coming off a terrific sweep at the hands of the Toronto Blue Jays. Keeping it rolling, and it started really with the pitching. Jared Weaver set the tone on Friday night.
Well, Mike Butcher said it best, the pitching coach for the Angels. He wants 3 quality starts. Well, you know what? He got 3 great quality starts out of this starting rotation. Jared Weaver set the tone early on there in Toronto, knowing he had to throw up some zeros early on to take the pressure off that offense. Paints the outside corner, paints the inside corner. 8 punch-outs in his 7 innings of work out there, setting the tone. Of course, Jolton Joe Saunders went out there and dominated himself. Great changeup, sink the fastball very well throughout 8 scoreless innings, and he did his job. And then Irvin Santana, what a performance last night. A CG, had an electric slider working, fastball in the mid-90s with that smile, high-fiving at the end of the ballgame.
One of the guys they say probably set the tone for the pitchers, at least starting pitchers, on that road trip was Joel Pinheiro. He had a spectacular start against the New York Yankees on Wednesday. He's towing the slab tonight for the Halos.
Devastating sinker against the Yankees. You know, he could throw that fastball throughout the whole ballgame, and all they could do was top it into the ground. He set the tone through a lot of strikes. You see that movement on the inside part of the plate, freezing some great hitters. He punched out A-Rod 3 times during the course of that ballgame because of that fastball. Looks and blatant hit, then all of a sudden the bottom drops out. Another outstanding job by Pinheiro.
Well, as good as that rotation was, the boys swinging the lumber were fantastic. They're looking to keep it going against the D-Train. Dontrell Willis going for the Tigers. We've got lineups at first pitch when we return.
Brought to you by Howard's, official appliance and flat screen superstores of the Los Angeles Angels. Nobody beats Howard's. By your Southern California Hyundai dealers. Want more MPG? Hyundai has it. With 7 models that get 30 miles per gallon or more, Hyundai's now the most fuel-efficient car maker in America. And by Shakey's Pizza. In one Hall of Fame is Shakey's founder Sherwood Shakey Johnson honored. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia.
Oh, that is a gorgeous sight. The World Championship trophy. That'd be nice to tack on another one, right?
Or 2 or 3.
Absolutely. So take a look at the lineup for Jim Leyland and the Detroit Tigers visiting for the first game of a 4-game series. The rookie Austin Jackson leading things off. He's in center. Johnny Damon in left. Magli Ordonez back to his old self, continuing to swing the bat. He's in right field. Miguel Cabrera at first. Carlos Guillen, the DH. Brandon Inge at third base. Alex Avila doing the catching. Scott Sizemore at second base. Adam Everett is the shortstop, rounding out that starting 9. Pretty good lineup in that the fact that they are swinging the bat very aggressively. They come in with a record of .705, but they're facing a guy in Duel Pinheiro who has limited experience against the Tigers throughout his history. But as we all know, prior to the St. Louis Cardinals, he was a completely different pitcher.
Well, he was more of a guy that was swing and miss type pitcher. He had a 4-seam fastball up in the strike zone, curveball, slider, mixing a changeup. But he figured it out. More of a sinker ball pitcher right now, pitching to contact. 15 ground ball outs that first game out, 12 the next time. No walks, 7 strikeouts against the Yankees. That 1-1 record so far with a 2.77. Pinheiro doesn't overpower you with velocity on the fastball, but the movement, what he did to A-Rod there in New York was unbelievable. 3 swing and miss strikeouts.
I would want to ask you a little bit, too, as we take a look at the defense behind Pinheiro tonight. Rivera in left, Hunter in center, Abreu's in right. On the infield, Brandon Wood, Eric Ibar on the left side, Howie Kendrick Morales on first base. Jeff Mathis doing the catching, but on the heels of what Joel Pinheiro did against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, how much momentum can you take going into the start?
Tons of confidence just to working down in the strike zone, getting ground balls, and you have a great one there at shortstop. Eric Ibar has got that fantastic arm, strong range to his glove side and the backhand also. That whole infield will be used a lot today with that sinking ground ball action on Pinheiro's fastball.
Time now for our Hyundai keys to the game. Joel Pinheiro's ready to go. So take a look at his career numbers.
Well, he does have a good record against the Tigers. 6-2, wants to keep that going. Impressive ERA, 2.66. But Magli Ordonez hitting over 400 against Pinheiro. And when you look back at Ordonez against the Halos in general, 332 career hitter with 21 home runs against Angel pitching.
Ready to start things off here in game number 1 of this 10-game homestand. Austin Jackson leading things off. He's off to a red-hot start, the center fielder, hitting .340, 5 runs batted in. Coming over this offseason in a trade, 3-team trade between the Tigers, Yankees, and Diamondbacks. And Joel Pinheiro, as he did in New York, quickly getting ahead. It's kind of the tone that we saw all weekend long in Toronto.
Well, that's the key. I mean, even talking to Mike Butcher on the bus going towards the airport yesterday afternoon in Toronto after an outstanding job by his starters, it's all about, hey, let's get after that strike zone. First pitch for a strike, and then you can expand, use all your secondary pitches.
Jackson takes a called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. We start this one with a punch out, 1 away for Johnny Damon.
Well, I always like attacking the strike zone when it's 0-2. Starts the fastball, the outside part, but gets the inside part of the plate down in the zone. Great movement on that fastball once again.
Damon steps in and takes a fastball right down the middle. Johnny at 256, 5 runs batted in, a couple of doubles.
Johnny's got some good shoes working.
Trying to decide those. Damon pops one up to shallow left. Rivera makes the catch for out number 2. Are those the same ones that Torrey was wearing? No. Not even close. It's like Billy White Shoes Johnson right there.
He's trying to get quick again, but Torrey back to his conventional angel spikes in center field. Hey, what a job he did going to Toronto, be able to see the ball off the bat much better. He had a tough time in the new Yankee Stadium, reacted on that first step on that fly ball coming off that cement behind home plate.
refreshed after having the day off as Maglia swings at the first pitch. Eric Ibar over to Kendry Morales. A 1-2-3 inning. Pinheiro continuing to roll. 1/2 inning complete. No score from the Big A. First inning. This is the lineup Mike Scioscia's running out. Game number 14 of the season. Angels at 6-7. Eric Ibar, shortstop. .353 average on the current 8-game hitting streak. Bobby Abreu in right. Torrey Hunter at center. Hideki Matsui at DH. Kendry Morales at first base. Juan Rivera is out at left. Howie Kendrick at second. Jeff Mathis back behind the plate. Brandon Wood is at third base. Those 9 guys will be facing the D-Train Dontrelle Willis, trying to get back to what he was in 2003. And a couple of years after that, Rookie of the Year and a power pitcher in the National League.
Well, at one point had a fastball mid-90s. Now settles anywhere between 84 to 91 on that fastball. Good curveball. We'll mix in a slider and a changeup at times. Command is definitely an issue for Willis.
He has struggled over the last couple of years as Ibar takes a strike there.
I think when you mentioned, like Jerry Weaver, it's all about deception, and Dontrelle was the same way. All about deception. Hide the baseball very well.
There's a strike again. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dontrelle having made just 15 starts in the big leagues over the last 2 seasons. Third start of the year, no record, a .491 ERA. Ibar takes down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good numbers for Eric Ibar. Also leads the team. Walks with 7. Two. That is on the ground to short. Everett. Very good defender. Throws out Ibar for out number 1. We take a look at the defense behind Dontrelle Willis. Johnny Damon at left. Austin Jackson at center. Maglia Ordonez at right. Brandon Inge at third. Adam Everett at shortstop. Scott Sizemore at second. Miguel Cabrera at first base. Alex Avila doing the catching for Dontrelle Willis.
When Brandon Inge, third baseman for the Tigers, during the course of this 4-game series, you're going to see him make a couple of spectacular plays. He's one of the best defenders in the American League at that position.
Guy that came up as a catcher, played shortstop and pitched in college, but is caught, played center field, played third base. Abreu takes strike 1. And an all-star last year. We'll talk about him when he comes up. Struggled in that second half. Bobby steps in with a .231 average. A couple of home runs, 7 runs batted in. Check swing foul at the plate. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
A surprising stat early on. Now, granted, it's just the 3rd star of the year for Dontrelle Willis. Left-handers hit .389 against him. When he came up with Florida, left-handers had no chance. He couldn't pick up the baseball. His breaking pitch at that point, because his mechanics were more solid, consistently got a swing and a miss.
His overall batting average against not that good either at .348 with the righties hitting .320. That breaking pitch almost hits Abreu. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
What that tells you, if a left-hander is having troubles against lefty batters, it means his secondary pitch, whether it's a curveball or a slider, is not as effective as he wants to be. Flat breaking pitch over the middle part of the plate allows him to be able to hit hard.
That one a little nubber right back to the Tiger pitcher. Launches the grenade over to first base, and Abreu's retired for out number 2. So 2 quick outs. So Dontrelle checking out something on the fingernail.
Looked like when he went to throw that baseball out, there was a comebacker that slipped off his fingertips.
Appears to be all right. Maybe that ball spinning got him on the fingernail.
It was definitely right off the end of the bat. There's going to have some action on it. He just launched it over there, but it didn't seem like it was an issue at all. But Dontrelle is not going to miss an opportunity to start a game, that's for sure, after missing all the time he has over the last few seasons.
Torrey Hunter takes strike 1. Not only has Dontrelle Willis had to endure physical injuries, he's had to deal with emotional ones with anxiety disorder over the last couple of seasons. Torrey fouls that one back. And I think a young man, still just 28 years of age, that everybody's rooting for, from the standpoint of he was just a great personality coming up with the Florida Marlins, winning that Rookie of the Year.
Well, they loved him
beating a pretty good pitcher in Brandon Webb that year, who was a rookie with the Diamondbacks. And just that personality and the way he went about it. All of a sudden they have to go through the struggles that he has, especially with the Tigers, after that big trade.
There's not many pitchers that would take the mound, a starting pitcher, that would draw so many fans. And Dontrelle Willis, when he was down there in Florida, every game he would go to the pitch, there'd be so many walk-up fans that come to those games. He had that big smile work, and he had some great numbers for that club.
22-game winner in 2005 as Torrey swings and misses on that pitch. And Dontrelle Willis does the same thing as Pinheiro does. 1 complete, no score. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by Carl's Jr. Charbroiled Black Angus beef, crispy bacon, and 4 slices of melted cheese on grilled bread. The new grilled cheese bacon burger. Only at Carl's Jr. starting at $2.49. Yoel Pinheiro delivers strike 1 on Miguel Cabrera. He's thrown 7 pitches, 7 strikes as he sat the Tigers down in order in the first inning. They'll face Cabrera, Guillen, Inge. 4, 5, and 6 go for Detroit as that pitch is in the dirt. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera at 370, 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Has always been good, continues to be good for Detroit. And the guy that pretty much carried that offense all season long last year. As Cabrera shoots one to the alley in right center field. Abreu was shading him that way, makes the catch. There's out number 1. Time now for our FoxSportsWest.com poll question. Angels hit 173 home runs last year. Will they hit more this season? It's very simple, Gooby. You log on, you click yes or no.
There's no in between.
No in between whatsoever. There's the Angels team leader from last season.
Well, they asked Henry about that. What should I go with? Yes or no?
You've got a 50-50 chance.
I like those odds.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be able to pick either yes or no.
Yeah. I like the way you think. Guillen takes inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Tiger DH, 277 on the year with a home run and 5 runs batted in. He was limited last year due to a right shoulder problem. Foul back, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
He's had some knee issues too throughout his career. He's a heck of a hitter. Hits the ball well to the opposite way, left center. Turn on an all-speed pitch. Been very consistent throughout his career as far as offensively.
Two one for Pinheiro. It was popped up. This one will find its place in the seats. The count even to 2-2. Boy, what a beautiful night for baseball. Fans still flocking in.
Perfect day. Especially after coming back from Toronto, where it was a little bit chilly.
The forecast every day in Toronto was concrete in that dome. 2-2. Tap and foul. They just need to update that place. Just a smidge. The AstroTurf, it's cute. It's great for the players. But aesthetically, for something that was so grandiose when it was brought in.
I'll take just a regular, normal field, though, especially when it's a retractable. Why couldn't you put grass and dirt in there? Natural grass. I don't understand it.
Good pitch on the inside part of the plate. Guillen fouling that one off.
You know, I asked Torrey Hunter about that new AstroTurf in Toronto. I said, is it any better on your knees? He says, no. I couldn't wait to get out of here. My knees were killing me. So that's why Mike Swish did a good job of resting his outfielders during the course of that series. Pick the spots. It's perfect.
Reaching for one is Guillen, off the bag and over the head of Ibar. Torrey comes charging in to hold Guillen to a single. More than likely a single either way, but if that ball just ricochets to Eric, we've got an interesting play at first base.
Well, we have Pinheiro sticking his foot out trying to knock it down. And then it goes up and hits the base. And Ibar trying to make a bare hand and then throw over. You can never doubt Eric Ibar with his athleticism and his strong arm.
Brings up Brandon Inge with a man on. Inge, as we told you, an all-star last year. An unbelievable start to the 09 campaign. Batting average okay at 268, hit 21 home runs before the All-Star game. Went to the All-Star game in St. Louis, participated in the home run derby. As he hits one right back up middle again. Base hit. Guillen is rounding second, stopping right there as Torrey throws behind him. Back-to-back singles.
When you're a pitcher, a sinker ball pitcher, and you pitch to contact, there's going to be some times where you give up some hits. You just got to stay with that plan. Assume at some point those ground balls will be at your infielders. You can get a double play ball. And the approach, the consistent approach against a sinker ball, pitchers hit the ball right up the middle. Because if you try to pull that pitch, routine ground ball to shorter. If you're a lefty, you hit that chopper to second base.
Inge swinging it like he had in that first half last year. Hit 186 in the second half. As Alex Avila steps in and taps one foul. Avila got to start yesterday. Getting to start once again. Gerald Laird, the everyday catcher for the Tigers, has been battling a little stiff back. Southern California native, Gerald Laird.
Well, a guy that can hit a fastball.
The 0-1. right into the glove of Pinheiro, flips to Morales. That's how you get it done. A 1-3 double play. Pinheiro finally said, I've had enough.
You know, if there was a chance to get 4 outs in an inning, that would have been it. He had a triple play all over this play. Rocket up the middle, quick reflexes. Pick your choice for the double play. Gets out of the inning.
Well, Pinheiro digging the dirt out of the cleats. Bottom of the second, no score. Nice job by him fielding that line shot. More of a defensive mechanism, but it went right into the glove, doubling up. Brandon Inge at first base as Hideki Matsui takes a strike. He doesn't like the call. He thought that pitch was a little bit up and in. Matsui, Morales, Rivera, 4, 5, and 6 do it for the Halos. Dontrell Willis, a 1-2-3 first inning, including a strikeout.
Wow, fastball up and in the inside corner. Fastball in the outside corner also. Big side zone for Dontrell Willis early on against Matsui.
Now one in tight. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mark Wegner calling the balls and strikes tonight. Matsui with a .327 average, 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. 8 of his 16 hits gone for extra base hits. The pitch is a called strike 3. Down goes Matsui, and he really doesn't like it. There's out number 1.
And now it's time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Matsui. Kenichi while that fastball out over the plate. And sayonara, another run across for Matsui, just dominant as far as driving in runs. That is our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Hideki goes down looking here in the second, brings up Kendry Morales. Those moments are priceless. I mean, I literally look forward to them every game.
The Cold Hard Blast?
Solid.
I do for you.
Morales at .224. 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in. He swings through the off speed there. And it's no balls, 2 strikes. And we're seeing a guy that we talked about at the beginning that used to be a power type of pitcher, living in that mid-70s to mid-80s range. He's got the ability to go up a little bit higher, but trying to stay within himself mechanically.
Not overthrowing the baseball. That's the important thing. He didn't want a slider here. Probably more of the backdoor slider. A different pitcher. He used to be a guy that could elevate the fastball 93 to 95. And then when he worked the head, too, had that great curveball. Again, he's trying to find his mechanics. He's that curveball. Nope. He wants a fastball going back to the slider.
On the ground at third. Inge has got it. 2 outs. Brings up Juan Rivera. We go back in time and revisit what Dontrelle Willis used to look like with the Florida Marlins. On the left, Juan Marichal on the right.
Yeah, when we talked about it in the last few days, Dontrelle Willis, who would be a great comparison? Juan Marichal, that high leg kick, deception. But the amazing thing is to be able to keep your balance over the pitching rubber when you have that type of delivery. I think when Dontrelle started throwing a lot of pitches out of the zone, they try to redefine his delivery. But I've always been a believer you stay with that deception. Didn't hurt Juan Marichal throughout his career, Hall of Famer. You see right here, he still has the leg kick, but not as high, more compact. The thing is, if you look at that front foot, it's landing straight towards home plate. That means he's got a better chance of being in the zone.
That ball is ripped right to Brandon Inge for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 complete for the Big A. We are scoreless. The fact that he's thrown a lot of strikes, so is Joel Pinheiro, who's thrown 21 pitches, 17 for strikes, facing 8-9-1, Sizemore, Everett, and Jackson. Scott Sizemore, a rookie himself, takes a fastball for a strike. Tigers minor league player of the year last season. These are his numbers from this year. Splitting time last season between AA and AAA. And went to the fall league, and I believe the fall league due to an injury, fractured fibula, required surgery in the offseason, but he's all right. And the reason why Placido Polanco is now playing third base for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, they feel he's the guy that not only could be a situational type hitter, puts the ball in place, some speed, but solid defensively too. That's the one thing you look at the Tigers last year, their defense, overall defense, not a lot of range. So they're trying to upgrade their defense.
2-2. On the ground is short. Sizemore's got good speed, and he's retired for out number 1.
Well, the one thing you see with Pinheiro, though, even when you're facing a guy that runs well, because that fastball runs in on him, it jams him, it makes it more difficult to get out of the batter's box and get that first step to make it even closer.
Are you then, at that point, moving your infield in a couple of steps as opposed to playing around the rim of the infield, cheat them in a couple of steps because of that reason?
No question. Because of the fact that a lot of those ground balls aren't centered. And when they are hit hard, like those last thing, a couple of those baseballs up the middle, it flattened out. It was over the middle. That's how they were able to drive it hard. But most times, particularly against right-handed batters, jam shots.
1-0 to Adam Everett, drilled to left field, but Juan Rivera is there to make the catch, 2 away. "27 pitches, 21 strikes.
Well, we talked about how they had their 3 quality starts in Toronto, but Pinheiro set the tone. And when you're one of those other starters and you watch a guy on the mound working quickly, throwing a lot of strikes, you feed off that. You go, hey, listen, if I get ahead 0-1, I got a chance to go 7, 8, 9 innings. Makes that a competitive staff that much better. And then when you look at Ervin Santana, the way he threw yesterday, the tempo he had to go along with the electric stuff he took out there to the mound, that's when you see that dominant performance out of Ervin Santana.
Well, we saw Weaver Friday, Saunders Saturday, Ervin on Sunday, getting ahead and staying ahead. Yoel Pinheiro has done that so far tonight. 8 of the 10 batters he's faced, he's thrown a first pitch strike to.
Saunders had no hit type stuff in his 8 innings of no earned runs.
Slice past Morales and into right field. Good piece of hitting on a tough pitch. Austin Jackson is on board with a 2-out single.
Special type player, Austin Jackson. If you've got a young kid who can go down and get a pitch like that and hit it hard the other way, you know you have a chance to put up some good numbers.
Nice effort by Morales going to his right.
Definitely a threat as far as a stolen base. He has 2 stolen bases, the only 2 the club has had so far this year.
He had 24 stolen bases at AAA Scranton last year, the Yankees organization. The base hit for Jackson extends his hitting streak to 7. Johnny Damon is 0 for 1 with a fly ball out to left. And that is looped out to right center, base hit. Jackson will head over to third base. Corey cuts it off, and Damon will stop at first. Jackson at third. A little rally for the Tigers here in the 3rd inning with Magli Ordonez coming up.
Yeah, when you're a strike throw and Mike Scioscia sees that out of Pinheiro, guys look out over the plate. That was supposed to be a sinker that was up, elevated enough, it flattened out. Jackson right away picking up his third base coach, because if Torrey Hunter doesn't get anything quickly, he's going to try to score all the way from first.
Maglio grounded to short to end the 1st inning, so he's 0 for 1. He takes upstairs for ball 1. Maglio certainly turned it on in the 2nd half last year after the All-Star break. Extra base hits weren't necessarily there. Shot foul.
Well, we showed the keys for Pinheiro. He's had some success against the Tigers, 6-2 mark with a 2.66 ERA, but he's facing a guy right here who's had some success against him, so he's got to go out and make some pitches. 4.09 against Pinheiro and 3.32 in his career against the Halos.
Beautiful pitch, and it's 1-2.
Fox track will show that pitch. Got that outside corner and down. Perfect spot with that late movement. Not a bad idea to go right back out. Start out a little bit further off the plate and see if he can catch the corner, because Ordonez goes the other way very well.
Great opposite field power. One, two. Jammed him. It was foul. Austin Jackson over at third base. Johnny Damon at first. Pretty good speed on the base paths. Another 1-2. That is pop foul. This one will slice into the seats along that first base side.
Pretty good pitch by Pinheiro off the outside corner with that slider, but Ordonez has outstanding plate coverage.
Want to get Ordonez so you don't have to face Cabrera here in the third. On the ground to third. Woods got it. He'll go the short way, and they get Johnny Damon for the third out. Nice job by Yoel Pinheiro. Tigers get a couple of men on, and they leave them stranded middle of the third. We're scoreless. Out through his 3 innings. Bottom of the third now here at the Big A. Dontrell Willis has been up to the task as well. He has faced 6 batters. He's retired all 6, including 2 strikeouts. Howie Kendrick takes outside. Kendrick, Mathis, Wood, 7, 8, 9 due up for the Halos. Howie's been swinging it of late. 3.11 average.
One thing to keep an eye on for the Angel hitters against Dontrell Willis. Not many of them have seen him before. You look at Bobby Abreu has some at bats, and Juan Rivera. Other than that, in Meister Stores with 5, nobody else has seen Dontrell Willis. So maybe a time through the lineup.
As Howie loops one out to shallow left field, that'll fall for a base hit. So the Angels get their leadoff man on board. If you take a look at the Farmers Insurance true storyline of the game, Dontrell Willis went to the same high school as Hall of Famer Willie Pops Stargell, Encinal High School in Alameda, California.
Willie played it. Field. Yeah, look at that. Willie Stargell. Part of the We Are Family 1979 World Champion Pittsburgh Pirates.
Some good-looking unis.
Great lids.
Jeff takes upstairs for ball 1. Visit farmers.com today to hear more true stories from Farmers customers and to find a SoCal agent near you.
Well, you talk about a guy who could crush a baseball. An old veteran stadium in Philly, the 700 level, the yellow seat section. Nobody had been up there until Willie Stargell hit one there. Just Willie hit one out at Dodger Stadium also.
Mathis looping one. That's a fair ball. Kendrick over to third base. Mathis trying for the double. He is in there safely. The ball hits him. Kendrick will score. Angels up 1-0.
Mathis keeps it rolling. Continues that good swing. A shot, a little flare action down the right field line. Going the other way. Fastball off the outside corner. It's at the chalk. Angel aggressive. Able to catch a break here when the throw came in and hit him right on the foot, Jeff Mathis.
So Mathis on at second. Brandon Wood takes outside. It should go as a double for Mathis and then an error on Magli Ordonez. So no RBI for the Angel catcher. And that's exactly how they rule it. Jeff picks up his third double. Brandon lays off that pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Mathis, by the way, extending his current career high hitting streak now to 10 games. Brandon 3 for 18 on the just completed road trip. Swings through a fastball there. Good hack on the outside corner. It's 2-1.
He did have some improved swings the last couple games up in Toronto. And Mike Scioscia and Mickey Hatcher talked to him yesterday. They want him to be aggressive. When you're at a 2-0 count, a good hard swing. Make hard contact, drive it.
Outside, 3 balls and a strike. And he said that the errors that he committed on Saturday kind of, well, we talked about how he hasn't taken the struggles offensively out to the defensive side, but he said that the errors he committed defensively kind of fired him up on the offensive side. We saw those hacks. That pitch is inside, and there's ball 4. So a single, a double, and a walk for the Halos here in the third. Up 1-0. Still nobody out. Here comes Eric Ibar.
We were looking on at Dontrell Willis. You can see the difference in Willis's mechanics as compared to the stretch position as compared to the full windup. He's falling a lot more to the third base side than he would be when he's going to the full windup. Out of the stretch position, having a tough time.
Cabrera in on the grass, Inge near the cut of the grass at third base. Anticipating a bunt with Ibar to plate. He's 0 for 1 with a ground ball to short. Not bunting, and that pitch is inside.
And he's missing by a lot. Off the outside corner and the inside corner. For a pitcher, it's all about your feel on the mound. Most times you can keep your eyes closed if your mechanics are solid and consistent. Right here, it looks like Dontrell Willis having a tough time out of the stretch.
That's almost a balk.
A little bit of a stumble.
Yeah. I mean, just because you kick that leg back around doesn't necessarily mean, you know what I mean? You've got to actually sell it. Ibar takes a strike, 1-1.
That's one thing, you always hear the word balk, and it's about deceiving the base runner. Well, that seems to be deceiving the base runner there.
No doubt. Well, you're talking about the difference between him and the windup versus the stretch. He started off after facing the first 5 batters, throwing first pitch strikes to 4 of them. Since then, he's 0 for 5. Ibar swings through what would have been ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mathis at second, Wood over at first. The 1-2 on the ground. This will work. Inge has got it. Retires Ibar, but the runners advance 90 feet.
And they'll be a productive out. The Eagles have been doing the little things of late. Aggressive base running, getting some 2-out hits, RBI situations for Mike Scioscia in Toronto. And it always comes down to setting the tone of your starting pitchers. If they throw up some zeros early, it allows Mike Scioscia to do some things more aggressively on the offensive side.
We mentioned this is Dontrell's 3rd start of the year. His first 2 starts came against the Kansas City Royals. I mean, that's just how the rotation played out. That's how the schedule played out. He pitched in Kansas City. Got a no decision after going 6 innings. Then pitched at home at Comerica Park. Also got a no decision after going 5 innings. Infield back for the Tigers. Bobby trying to leave the yard on that swing. It's no balls and a strike.
He was guessing first pitch fastball because that's what Dontrell has been throwing a lot of them. You see a hitter, especially a veteran hitter, starting that bat through the zone earlier. He's expecting the fastball to see if he can get a pitch up and drive at least in the air to get a sacrifice fly.
Bobby's 0 for 1, popped up in the first inning. And that ball is jammed, but one hopper is short. The play's going to third. Brandon Wood is tagged out. But crossing the plate is Jeff Mathis. 2-0 Angels.
With the play in front of Brandon going to third. Ever veteran player makes the strong throw, and Angels able to apply the tag. A lot of times when you're in that position, you stay there at your ground at second base. You can make that long throw across. Bobby Abreu still runs well.
Abreu reaches on the fielder's choice, but picks up his 8th RBI of the year. 2-0 Angels. 2 outs now for Torrey Hunter. On the inside corner, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Torrey struck out swinging to end the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. 2 strikeouts for Willis. That was on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A 1-2 count. Dontrelle Willis, if you guess right, you're going to be successful with that high leg kick. 1-3-6 to 1-4 to home plate.
Torrey with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Abreu leading off at first. Down and in, 2-2. This inning started with a single by Howie Kendrick. The double down a right field line by Jeff Mathis, and throwing error by Magglio Ordonez. Putting the Angels up 1-0 at that point. Story fouls Ellen off, and after the walk to Brandon Wood and the ground out by Ibar, Abreu picking up the RBI on the fielder's choice.
Well, the offense starting to put it together. Driving some extra base hits. We saw a number of extra base hits in Toronto. When pitchers make mistakes of late, they've been capitalizing on it.
Torrey pulling that one. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Abreu around second, heading to third. Torrey into second with a double.
Some quick hands. Able to turn on it and keep it fair. Off-speed pitch. Not a bad location. And a right-handed batter with a quick bat that can turn on a pitch in the inside part of the plate. Down and in is a dangerous spot if you're a pitcher. And Torrey made him pay for another extra base hit for the Halos.
Double number 6 for Torrey. 2 in scoring position now. Here's Hideki Matsui, who struck out looking in the second inning. Lays off the breaking pitch, and it's in for a strike. A couple of big hits over the weekend for Matsui against the Toronto Blue Jays. Got his pitch. Comes up empty. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, he had a good swing at that one. Dontrelle with a little giddy up on that one at 90. We use that word professional when describing Matsui's approach at the plate with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. You see why. Not affected. Even with open bases at time, stays back and drives the ball the other way.
0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 25 pitches in this inning thrown by Dontrelle Willis. Abreu third, Hunter at second. 2 in, looking for 2 more. On the ground, that's a foul ball. Tapped the bat twice. It is a foul ball. First base umpire Dan Isonia made the call.
Right away made the call. Out in front, Matsui. Still does an amazing job as far as keeping his hands through the strike zone. Even if his hips open up and the body starts getting out of the batter's box, he's able to keep his hands in the strike zone and still make a pass at it.
Dontrelle wants Avila to run through the signs again. Lays off that breaking pitch. Oh, they even get an appeal. Jerry Neal says he did not. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kendry Morales awaiting his turn. 2-2. Nope, lays off again, full vote.
Well, you have to be able to see the ball well and have confidence in your eye to be able to track that baseball, because that was a tough pitch he laid off on.
Payoff. Matsui pops one up. Shallow left. Adam Everett, the shortstop, going out. Johnny Damon calls everybody off and makes the catch gingerly to end the third. But the Angels strike first. They get 2. 3 complete. 2-0 Angels. We've had some legit questions, haven't we?
Yes.
Like, like we actually had to think about it. Miguel Cabrera lead things off. Carlos Guillen, then Brandon Inge.
Well, look at that movement on that fastball.
Down low. 2 balls and a strike. Pinheiro with a strikeout and no walks.
I talked to Jared Weaver about that sinking fastball that Pinheiro has. He was working with it a little bit in spring training, but he had a difficult time keeping that near the strike zone.
And that is lined into the alley in left center field. Cabrera will round first, head to second. As Torre just now picks it up. That's a double. 4th of the year for Cabrera.
Well, he's some kind of hitter. And again, this is down. Movement. Inside corner and down. But again, Howard's replay shows when you're a right-handed hitter and you get that ball and you can track it in the inside part of the plate, you can drop the big part of the bat on it and crush it. And that's what Cabrera did there.
Almost looks as if, unlike what he did on Wednesday, some of the sinkers are more mid-thigh, dropping to knee height, as opposed to starting at the knees and then dropping out of the strike zone.
Great point, because that's what you want. If you're a sinker ball, you want to start at the knees, because they see that, track that. Most hitters prefer the ball down in the zone, but then the bottom drops out. It's out of the hitting zone, and you get easy either swing and miss, or they'll just hit the top of the baseball and beat it into the ground.
We've seen some hard hit balls in this game off Tiger hitters, or off the bats of Tiger hitters. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Cabrera stays at second base.
Once again, Jeff Mathis blocking that pitch in the dirt. Pinheiro, a little something different that time, a breaking pitch. Give him a little different look. Well, the job that Napoli and Mathis did on this road trip as far as keeping pitches in front of us was outstanding.
There's a strike, 1-2. Guillen's 1 for 1, had a single in the second. Pinheiro wants Mathis to run through the signs again.
A little indecision on that sequence of pitches. Smart idea by Pinheiro to step off and go through some more signs.
This one will find its place in the seats. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. We go back to our AT&T trivia question. I'm going to go with Jim Fregosi. That's my guess.
Good one.
I'm trying, man.
Heck of a player, great manager. Now scouting. Quite often here at the ballpark.
Almost daily. 1-2, boy, good pitch there. Had him out in front. Spoiled it. That's more the type of swing that you're looking for and that we saw in New York.
And that's the frustrating thing. You execute your pitch and you're still a very good hitter, and Carlos Guillen was able to foul that one off.
Breaks his bat right back to Pinheiro. So he doubled up again. There's out number 1. Angel fans, it's that time of year again. Time for the Angels wall calendar night. All fans in attendance tomorrow will receive a free Angels wall calendar courtesy of AT&T. Tickets for this game are now available 50% off in select seating areas when using the password ANGELS at angelsbaseball.com or any of the Angel Stadium ticket windows.
Finally, it's here.
I had this date circled on my non-wall calendar for weeks. Brandon Inge takes low for ball 1. Inge had a single in the second, so he's 1 for 1. This is the Tigers team that has swung about well to start the young season. 275 team batting average coming into tonight, 4th in the American League. They've not hit for power, as I say that and put the whammy on. They've only hit 8 home runs, 12th in the American League.
Ball's behind 3-0. Again, Brandon H. more likely will get the green light from Jim Leland. Does have home run power. That is his first 3-ball count. The game so far, Pinheiro. Good idea not to swing at that one. Movement, but you're right. As far as his sinker tonight, it's flattening out. It's movement. A lot of good movement on the pitch, but it's going more of a eastern flow instead of going dropping down in the below the knee level. Ends up being a hittable pitch.
3-1. And he puts it on the ground. That is foul. So we've gone from 3-0 to 3-2. Pinheiro wants a new baseball. Tigers in for 4. Yankees roll in for 3 coming up on Friday. And the Cleveland Indians a week from tonight roll into town for the first of 3. So a 10-game homestand. And the Angels have to go back out to the East Coast. Out to right field. Playable for Bobby Abreu. Cabrera tagging from second. Will advance to third, but there are 2 outs.
Well, Joel Pinheiro was so effective in New York. Look at that movement on the fastball below the bat of A-Rod. Gets him 3 times on the inner half, and he likes that type of pitch, too. See that all-speed pitch down in the zone? Pinheiro, when he's effective, he'll have that late movement, and he'll start at the knees and then go below it to get a swing and a miss, or a weak ground ball.
A chance to get out of this inning with Cabrera standing at third base. Avila steps in. It was a loud out, double play out to be exact in the second inning, lining one right back to Pinheiro. He wheeled around and doubled up Brandon Inch from first base. The Tiger catcher's 0 for 1. Good off-speed pitch.
Good split. You see him using that curveball more often in the split. Well, but those Angel starters really got it going for the club. Took a lot of pressure off the offense. Pinheiro dominant in New York, followed by Weaver, Saunders, and Santana in Toronto. We've no walks, 8 punch-outs.
0-2's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Avila got to the big leagues last year, being a draft pick in 2008, the son of Al Avila, the assistant general manager, Dave Dombrowski. There's a tapper right around the plate. Boy, cat-like ability by Jeff Mathis there. And whether it's fair or foul, it doesn't matter. There are times where you come out from behind the plate that fast, you might sell it to the umpire behind a dish.
What is he quick? You're right. If you get out there and make the throw at first, it catches everyone by surprise. You get an easy out. Well, he's been moving so well laterally, both inside and out, blocking pitches, calling a great game.
Another 1-2. It's fouled back.
You can see the difference for Mike Scioscia, the starters, how important it is and how confident he was his team would be able to turn around. Last 5 games, 4-1 with a great ERA, just over 2.5. First 8 games falling behind so often, nearly 6 runs a game.
Got him on the breaking pitch. Down goes Avila. The leadoff double is stranded at third. Middle of the 4th. Angels still up. Morales, Rivera, Kendrick. Here
Possible Hall of Famer?
He is on the fringe. He is him and Jim Cott, both of whom are no longer eligible as far as on a yearly basis. They've exhausted their eligibility. So up to the Veterans Committee. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
I mean, I think because of the adjustments he made as far as coming back from that surgery, when you have a surgery named after you, you're pretty good. When you come back and win and make those adjustments, he was an overpowering guy early on.
Really? It's pretty good?
Yeah.
Or it's not? It has nothing to do with the fact that he was the first one to have that surgery done.
And come back from that type of surgery.
Morales gets hit by a pitch. So the Angels get their leadoff man on.
Slider down and in, getting the foot. Any way you get on. Although I'm not so sure that felt real good hitting off the toe. You doing all right over there, Victor?
Your logic is priceless. I love it.
I do what I can to entertain you.
Here's Juan Rivera at the plate. He lined out in the second inning. Lined out hard to Brandon Inge. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better as well.
Well, did he crush that one home run in Toronto? Off the level of excellence.
And it was.
Well, you can see the difference when he's out of the stretch position for Dontrell Willis. Sometimes you see him land, he lands straight up and down. You want to get over your front leg. That's the importance.
That home run that you're talking about for Juan is 100th of his career. Dontrell Willis has thrown 5 straight balls. Going back to.
Well, you can see in the second inning when he was just throwing a lot of strikes here. Balance, going over that front leg and landing, going right towards the plate. But here you see, out of the stretch position for Dontrell Willis, a little bit more movement, falling over towards third base, the legs going away, and straight up and down. What I mean by straight up and down, you got to bend your back and reach out like you're trying to catch or shake hands with your catcher.
Visit to the mound by Rick Knapp, the pitching coach. 2 balls, no strikes on Juan Rivera. Boy, he was hacking. Took enough off of it. It's 2-1.
A changeup or a BP fastball. Tell you what, that's a very effective pitch for pitchers when they're having a tough time with the command of their fastball. BP fastball means getting below what their normal velocity is. Same arm action, but that little slower speed gets a hitter out in front.
That one is skied on the left side of the infield. Same type of pitch right there, too.
Let's keep looking at his fingers. I wonder if that one ground ball could back to him. He threw over to first base. See him making that motion as if he don't know either it's that fingernail or sometimes, especially early in the year before you've developed that callus on your pitching hand, you have some blister type action.
Howie takes strike 1.
You see the trainer looking at him at that point. See, when I mentioned as the season goes on, you build up more of a callus on your, especially your middle finger, because that's where you put the majority of the pressure on the baseball with the seams. The more you throw, the more of a callus build up, and it's better off. But that blister early on could be an issue for him.
That's where super glue comes into play, right?
Whatever it takes before you get that. And obviously now with bullpen action, there is some issues as far as the blister or something going wrong with his finger.
That was right-hander Eddie Bonine up and loosening. 0-2 inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Howie got things started for the Angels in the 3rd inning with that single. Came around to score on the error by Magli Ordonez after Mathis a double down the right field line.
Remember, a number of those pitches down at that point with the Florida Marlins had some blister issues. Carl Pavano, Josh Beckett.
Yeah. People use pickle juice, super glue.
People go to that rosin bag behind the mound. See something possibly right in that spot right there with the middle finger. But again, that's where you put the majority of pressure on the seam of the baseball.
Well, with the struggles that he has had over the last couple of years, from a location standpoint, mechanics, anxiety disorder, last thing you'd want, because he's thrown the ball fairly well, with the exception perhaps when he's in the stretches, all of a sudden have to deal with a blister problem, kind of messing with you. Kendrick breaks his bat, loops from the right, that's a base hit. Kendrick will stop at second, and Howie Kendrick, a two-hit night.
He hit real well on the road trip also. How we going the other way? He's getting a home run to left center field. Turn on some pitches. Pitch off the outside part of the plate. That's pretty good play coverage. That means you're confident going the other way. 6 for 20 on his past road trip. How he was now 2 for 2. And a smile once again.
First and second, one out. Jeff Mathis at the plate, who doubled his first time up, came around to score. 10-game hitting streak. His last 3 hits, actually, have all been doubles. And Mathis goes out to right center field. O'Donnell's got a good jump on that ball, makes the catch. 2 outs.
What, Ordonez looked so much better in the outfield this year. Last year he was laboring to get a good jump on a fly ball. Got himself in great shape, hitting the ball well. More aggressive in the outfield, covering a lot more ground.
Got 3 outfield assists already. Topped the leaderboard in the American League. Back with what some have said, the guy that he was with the Chicago White Sox. In the early, actually the first season with the Detroit Tigers. Just back to driving the baseball, hitting with power, hitting with authority, playing good defense. A lot of stuff going on with him last year. Brandon Wood drives one the opposite way. Struck well. Maggie Ordonez is back, and he makes the catch. Somehow finds a way to track that baseball, hauls it in. Brandon Wood robbed of extra bases. It keeps the game at 2-0 Angels.
Boy, that's the webbing to make the play.
Was at the end of the dugout talking with Kevin Rand, the trainer for the Detroit Tigers, and it looks like with the jacket underneath his arm, looks like he may be done. There was action going in the bullpen, none now.
He doesn't have the glove with him, so he might still be in it. Maybe get some treatment.
See what they could do with that finger as we start the top of the fifth inning. Angels up by the score of 2-0. Boy, what a drive by Brandon Wood to end the bottom of the fourth inning. Magli Ordonez, as we talked about his defense, improving this year. Makes a circus catch out there and ends the thread.
And the thing was, he wasn't expecting Brandon Wood to drive the ball that far the other way. Brandon Wood, known as a guy that can, when he's going to hit his home runs, will be to left center. Hit that ball very well to right field.
Sizemore fouling that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, if you take what they call baby steps as far as seeing things progress in the positive anyways, Brandon Wood certainly has done that over the last couple of games. Results may not be there as Sizemore fouls that one off, but you're talking about sound, contact, approach at the plate. You got to like what you've seen in the last couple games.
Especially when you have the ability to drive the ball that far the other way and seeing the ball and squaring it up.
Sizemore goes down swinging. There's out number 1. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pinheiro, brings up Adam Everett. It's time now for the one West Bank, one person, one play.
Magli getting a read for the warning track, trying to find the wall. The ball just kept carrying and makes the play. It's Brandon Wood, we just talked about it. You mentioned that, his defense, and he's a little smile. His defense has improved for Jim Leland and the Tigers.
That was brought to you by One West Bank, one person at a time. Four in a row retired by Pinheiro as Everett loops one out to right center field. Torrey Hunter is there, 2 outs.
That's that step. 9-time Gold Glover. Torrey Hunter getting that jump on that baseball, making that look easy.
Tigers had some opportunities against Pinheiro the second and third innings, but Pinheiro's been good figuring things out, missing enough of the bat. And unlike the first time through the order, we're now starting to see some miss hits as Austin Jackson takes that sinker down and in.
I like the adjustments Pinheiro made. He had a tough time getting on top of that sinker, so he started using his curveball, his split finger fastball, and now he's back on top of the sinker.
Jackson fouling that one at the plate. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson's 1 for 2. Strikeout in the first, single, and was stranded at third base in the third. Former 8th round pick by the Yankees in 2005 out of Denton, Texas, suburb of Fort Worth. And the key to that 3-team deal, at least for the Tigers, to replace Curtis Granderson in center field. He certainly is not disappointed. Still early, couple of weeks, but gotta like the fact, we saw it last year too, a lot of young players being brought up to the big leagues and having impact in the big leagues.
Prominent roles, playing key defensive positions, hitting the top of the order also.
That one is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Down goes Jackson, a 1-2-3 inning. Yoel Pinheiro through 5 leads it 2-0. of the order, Eric Ibar, Bobby Abreu, and Torrey Hunter to face Dontrell Willis, who's back out there. So getting a little treatment for what we assume is a blister problem or a nail problem on that pitching hand. Ibar fouling that one straight back, and the snowball is 2 strikes.
It's amazing just the different command he has, and even the confidence for the full windup as compared to the stretch for Dontrell Willis. Stands tall, pitches over the pitching rubber, and lands straight at the plate.
A little motivation on his part to get the guys out when he is in that full windup, as opposed to having to deal with men on base. But I tell you what, aside from that throwing error by Magglio Ordonez and a couple of the flares, Angels have capitalized, but he's pitched well in those situations. The 0-2 is Sky to left. Johnny Damon backpedaling in his pearly white shoes. There's out number 1.
You're right, his stuff has been pretty good. He can throw his fastball anywhere between 84 and 92. You don't see that much of a differential too often in a fastball. Usually it settles around 89 to 91, 92, but that differential, because he can sink it and also take some speed off, and then, of course, when he gets ahead, he go elevating it.
Is he a guy that you would probably classify tonight anyways, because we did not seen him in his 2 starts against the Royals prior to this one, effectively wild? I mean, is that a fair statement when we throw that term out there? It's just enough off the plate as Cabrera fields out and feeds Dontrell for out number 2. Get your response here in just a second. So Torrey Hunter is coming up. We know we enjoy watching him here in the field and also at the plate. Now it's time for you to take a little Torrey with you home. All fans in attendance Thursday, April 22nd will receive a free Torrey Hunter Gold Glove figurine courtesy of Pechanga Resort and Casino. Tickets for this game now available for 50% off in select seating areas, and using the password ANGELS at angelsbaseball.com and the Angels Stadium ticket window.
I'll always take a timeout for Torrey with all that gold he's got. 9 gold gloves. But you're right about that. Effectively wild is very important. When you see a guy throwing a lot of strikes, hitters are comfortable looking out over the plate. But Dontrell Willis, with that type of movement, and of course, sometimes throwing it off the plate at a different delivery, a different angle, makes it difficult to get comfortable.
Well, that snapped a string right there, that pitch of 10 straight strikes for Dontrell Willis. Doesn't seem to be having any problems or ill effects from whatever's been going on with that pitching hand tonight. Here's a 1-1. Torrey fouls out the back.
Again, getting back to that effectively wild. What it does is, as a hitter, because you try to center into a spot against a pitcher, but if you're looking out over the plate and all of a sudden he's throwing inside, even though every once in a while you look back to see the catcher sitting in the outside corner and he misses that far, you go, I don't know if this guy knows where he's throwing it. So you're never comfortable at the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And then if you're a hitter, you see him up there, he's shaking off the catcher all the time, and a lot of times that's just for effect. He's not shaking off every single pitch. It's all part of the thing, the mind games.
Torrey lining one to center field. Is it going to hang up? It does so for Austin Jackson. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. 5 complete for the Big A. Angels still up 2-0.
Light. Go ahead, Victor.
2-0 Angels here at the top of the 6th inning. He made it look as if he knew what he was doing. He planned that the whole time.
But that would have been interesting with no outs. That's an easy triple play.
No doubt.
I always say the best friend of a pitcher is a double play. I'll take a triple play.
On the ground to first. Kendry's got it. Johnny Damon is retired. Crowd number 1. Hey fans, the New York Yankees will invade the Big A for an exciting 3-game series starting this Friday the 23rd through Sunday the 25th. This will be the Yankees' only visit to Angels Stadium during the 2010 season. Guarantee your seats for this exciting matchup by purchasing tickets at angelsbaseball.com or at the Angels Stadium ticket window. Of course, the Angels have to return the favor. They're losing 2 of 3 in New York.
Eagle fans got to come out in droves to be able to take down that evil empire.
Drown them out.
That's really with the home run. They're at the new Yankee Stadium. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was an amazing. Still, just looking back on that road trip and the respect the fans gave him every time up, standing ovation. Of course, his ex-teammates coming up and giving him a hug after he received his World Series ring.
Right back up the middle, and that's a base hit. Magli Ordonez picks up his first knock of the night. He's 1 for 3 now. Sixth hit of the night for the Tigers. The Tigers, or snaps, I should say, the string of 7 straight, retired by Pinheiro. He's thrown 75 pitches so far.
When you look at this Tiger team, though, just 3, 4, 5 hitters, and then throw in 6 with Brandon in. Just a dangerous lineup.
Cabrera had a double in the 4th inning, his 4th of the year. That came leading off that inning and eventually was stranded at third base. Pinheiro pitching out of it. On the outside corner, 0-2. Miguel Cabrera, one of those pieces in that big trade between the Tigers and the Florida Marlins, along with Dontrell Willis. He is locked up as the Tigers' first baseman for a while through 2015.
Strong hitter. Hit the ball well the other way, too. 2 pitches on the outside corner to start this at bat against him.
On the ground, right back to Pinheiro. He feeds Kendrick for 1. Relay to first. In time. 1-4-3 goes the double play. Nicely done by the Angels defense. Halo's still up 2-0. this gorgeous Monday night, Southern California. Matsui Morales Rivera here in the bottom of the 6th.
Enjoying some candy. Angel fans.
He's sharing too. And why not?
Highly nutritious.
Sweet glasses. So he fouling that pitch off, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Doobie, I think that's got you written all over.
Nice hat too.
Yeah. Like kids at a baseball game.
Best feeling ever.
No doubt. Matsui 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to left. Got a 2 ball, 1 strike count.
All dressed up in Angel gear. Kids having a blast. The Big A.
Down low and 3 balls and a strike.
Still amazed at the approach that Matsui takes against left-handed pitching. Doesn't seem to get fooled too often. Tracks the baseball well. If it's out of the zone, just lets it go by. You make a mistake, though. Great power to all fields.
3-1. Lays off, but it's a strike on the corner. Full count now. The Angels have managed 4 hits against Dontrell Willis. 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. He has 2 strikeouts and issued 1 walk. That was to Brandon Wood in the 3rd. And a 3-2. Fouled off to the left. Ends near the railing. Will run out of room. Willis has thrown 82 pitches, 52 have gone for strikes.
Pretty good ratio for Dontrell Willis.
And Matsui draws the walk. Leadoff man is on board for Kendry Morales. We take time to take a look at the Lexus pursuing perfection.
Boy, this is perfect execution here by Mathis. Won that pitch down in the zone. Pinheiro throws the curveball down and induces Miguel Cabrera into the 1-4-3 double play. It's our Lexus pursuing perfection. You talk about a catcher wanting to pitch at a spot and your pitcher delivering it right there and getting the double play. Don't get any better than that.
This one bounced over to short. Could be 2. It is. Just like that, 2 outs and nobody on for Juan Rivera.
Well, right now, if you're Jim Leyland, you got to feel pretty good about the outing that Dontrell Willis gave you. 2 outs here in the 6th inning at 84 pitches, 53 of them strikes. A lot of positives for him.
A lot of decisions that had to be made. Leaving spring training, Nate Robertson was traded. The Tigers back to the Florida Marlins. You see Dontrell shaking that hand. That's the first pitch we've really seen. It kind of is nowhere near the strike zone. And again, Dontrell looking at that hand, shaking it. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Pretty solid performance.
Two and one. What's the most difficult part about trying to pitch through something like that? Do you change the grip? Do you just...
I think you got to try to block it out. That's all you can do.
Rivera pulling that one foul. So the count is even now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mentioned the Angels with 4 hits. The Tigers have 6, but they've committed 1 error. Ordonez's throwing error that actually hit the back of Jeff Mathis as he was going to second. There's Jeff. 10-game hitting streak for him with that double down the right field line. Also scored a run.
Now the pitching coach for the Tigers will be ecstatic what he's seen out of Dontrell tonight, as far as, for the most part, throwing a lot of strikes. Pretty good velocity on his fastball. You know, coming into this, we heard that his fastball was being topped out at 83, 84, but he's throwing a few of them at 90, 92. Also mixed in a changeup, a curveball tonight, 74 mile an hour to a 92. That's 18 mile an hour differential. That can get you a lot of outs.
Rivera grounds one to short. There must be enough life on those pitches to see some mishits, and we've seen that. We're through 6 here at the Big A. Angels still up 2-0. At the top of the 7th, 2-0 Angels. Guillen, Inge, Avila against Joel Pinheiro. He's got 4 strikeouts, no walks. Scattered 6 hits. Guillen has one of them, a single back in the second, as that slow curveball is in there for a strike, and that's been effective since that sinker hadn't been sinking as we saw in New York, trying to change things around, changing the eye level of the hitters a little bit.
It's all about making adjustments, even if during the course of a game. If you don't have one pitch working, now the sinker's been back. More south field to it. Life on that fastball. Mike Butcher smiling. Here we were right next to him. Here we got a 0-2. It's a sign for a sinking fastball off the outside corner. And that was nasty. Good idea, because you know what? You set up the hitter, because then he's got to look out over the plate on that outside part of the plate also. That old 0-2 throw up and in sometimes is a useless pitch. Now he's going back in with this fastball. It's going to run at the hip and get the corner.
Just down low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. That is skied to right. Bobby Abreu over to his right. There's out number 1 as we take a look now at the Land Rover game summary.
Boy, the Angels again playing some solid baseball at home. It's all led by the starting pitching. Pinheiro with that sinker early on made some adjustments. Those curveballs It's in a split. Then that nasty running fastball on the outside part of the plate made the youngster look bad, and Austin Jackson.
Brandon Inge steps in now with 1 out, nobody on. Six and a third for Pinheiro. 6 hits, 4 punch outs. Inge trying to shoot one down the right field line. Long run over for Brea, but this one is foul.
Big number there again. No walks for Pinheiro. Last game in New York, 7 innings of work, no walks, 7 strikeouts. It was handcrafted for Brandon Inge, that bat.
How about that? That last start against the Yankees, setting his season high as far as innings pitched. Went 7th against the Pinstripers, striking out 7, throwing 107 pitches. The 86th pitch tonight is down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Good pitch on the corner.
Well, you can see why Pinheiro is always in position to make those plays. A couple double plays involved in. When he released the baseball, he's in great fielding position.
In tight. Full count now. Inside to hit him. So hit by a pitch, puts a man on with 1 away here in the 7th for the Tigers. Brings up Alex Avila.
Running fastball. Again, when you're a sinker ball pitcher, you drop your elbow at all, you're going to have that type of action on the pitch.
Avila's 1 for 2. Or pardon me, 0 for 2. He hit into that double play, which he lined right back to Pinheiro. He struck out swinging in the 4th. Sinker missing down and away. 29 games with the Tigers last year. 279 with 5 home runs. 14 runs batted in. Runner goes. A ground ball to second. 2 outs. A hit run action for Detroit. Brings up Scott Sizemore. Take a look at our Chevrolet Angels starter note.
That's 5 games. Dominant victory. Look at that. One thing you want to look at, 4 walks, 25 strikeouts. 6-to-1 ratio. Generally you look at a 2-to-1 ratio, but Joe Saunders and the rest of that staff, Urban Santana with that complete game. 1 out away at that point from a shutout. But we set the tone in Toronto. After watching his friend Pinheiro deal in New York.
Mike Butcher talking things over with Jared Weaver. You know, things that happen during the course of a game. You're not pitching. Looking at guys, looking at tendencies, especially as they react to certain pitches. Setting you up for when you go to the mound and having to face this Tiger lineup. Weave's going to have to face him on Wednesday. Joe Saunders on Thursday. Scott Kazmir getting to start tomorrow night.
You learn so much as a pitcher sitting in that dugout. Mentioned tendencies of your opponent's swing.
Right back up the middle, off the foot of Pinheiro, and it stays on the infield. It's going to be an infield single for Scott Sizemore. Puts runners at the corners with 2 outs and Adam Everett coming up.
That might have saved the run. That had a pretty good chance of getting through up the middle.
Agreed.
He's done it a couple times during the course of the game. Sets his foot out. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to be a run. For the time being, saves the run. When you're a pitcher, you release the baseball, you become that 5th fielder in the infield.
Adam Everett Ninth place hitter for the Tigers, 0 for 2. Fly ball to left, fly ball to center. A breaking ball shot to right field. Playable for Bobby Abreu. Squeezes it, and Yoel Pinheiro is through seventh. Seventh inning stretch time here at the Big A. The Halos leading the Tigers 2-0. Bottom of the seventh inning. Time now for a in and out. Who's in, who is out. Eddie Bonine takes over on the mound. Right-handed reliever. Pitching now his fifth game, a 1-0 mark, a 3.18 ERA. No walks, 2 strikeouts, 5 2/3. He takes over for Dontrell Willis, who tonight was pretty good. Third start of the season, 6 innings, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 runs, both earned on 4 hits. Worked out of some damage. The Angels looking for some insurance now against the Tiger bullpen.
Eddie Bonine, he has a number of pitches. Fastball, he's more of a pitch to contact type guy like Pinheiro. 87, 91 mile an hour. He's got a slider, changeup, and will throw an occasional knuckleball.
Last pitch 3 days ago against the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is in there for a strike. Bottom third, due up for the Halos. Kendrick Mathis Wood against Bonine.
Jeff Mathis on deck, and we're going to explain how Jeff Mathis has made that adjustment from the beginning part last year, carried it into the postseason and into this season. The adjustments he made at the plate to become a more productive hitter, consistent hitter. Working tirelessly with Mickey Hatcher. And Mickey had some special words for him to be able to help him get in position to be able to make consistent contact.
Breaking ball is inside, 3 balls and a strike. Bonine featuring a knuckleball here against Howie Kendrick. That's down low. So the leadoff man is on board, just like he was in the 6th inning. Brings up Jeff Mathis.
When we talked to Mickey Hatcher on the bus, even coming home in Toronto, with the adjustments Jeff Mathis has made this season, of course, last year against the Yankees in the postseason, you can see the big difference. Look at the difference in the bat here from last year as compared to this season. More straight up and down, shorter stance, a little bit better bend in the knees. And Mickey Hatcher wanted Jeff Mathis to be able to squat a little bit more so, to be able to drive the ball and stay back with his hands. That's why he's been more consistent.
Looks like he's, at least in those freeze frames right there, he's loaded up already on the backside. There it is.
Loads up, keeps the hands back, still head, and be able to put that chin on the back shoulder instead of flying open. When he had his hands back last year, laying on his shoulder, it's difficult. When you see that as a pitcher, a batter having his hands up like that and the bat laying on his shoulder, you know you're susceptible to a good fastball inside. Well, he made that adjustment. Hands quicker, driving the ball to right field, and of course turning on the pitch to the inside.
Bonine drops a breaking ball in for a strike.
You see the difference here. Right up, straight up and down the bat right there for Mathis. Last year, you see it flat. And that way you were more susceptible to pitches on the inner half. His stance was wider last season. This year, more compact and more of a squat type deal for him to be able to get that center balance for him.
Tigers paying close attention to Howie Kendrick over at first base. He's got 2 stolen bases this year. In the circumstance now in which the Angels looking for some insurance, up 2-0. Whether it's a hit and run or a straight steal, we'll see what happens. 0-1. Mathis skies with the left. Damon's got it for round number 1. Kendrick is tagging and trying to go to second base, and Damon throws a tie. Testing Johnny Damon, and it's a 7-4 put out on the double play.
Well, Johnny's a guy that can cover some ground in the outfield, but always had one of those arms where you see a third base coach or first base coach, no matter, will always try to take that extra base the base runners will. But he got himself in very good position going back at the fly ball, able to catch it on his throwing side and make that strong throw to be able to get Howie. And on the replay showing right away, there was no hesitation in Howie trying to get to that scoring position. But Johnny Damon, good throw.
So 2 outs for Brandon Wood. It takes a breaking pitch in for a strike. Brandon has walked and hit a fly ball to right field. A ball that was well struck, and in which Magli Ordonez made a terrific play on. The ball's popped up. Foul territory, Miguel Cabrera giving chase. Here's out number 3. The Angels go down quietly here in the 7th, but they still have a 2-0 lead. Angels have some action going in their bullpen since Piñeiro's at 96 pitches now. Another strike from Yoel, who's thrown 69 of those 96 for strikes. 4 strikeouts, no walks.
He can throw all 4 of his pitches, whether it was a split, a slider, a curveball, fastball, a couple different speeds on the fastball. He can throw the 4-seam fastball, which is a truer one, straighter fastball. He can sink it. So many options for him.
Jackson looping one to left field. Juan Rivera is there and makes the catch. That ball dive bombing toward the ground. Little topspin lob. There's out number 1. Time now for the U.S. Marines leaders of the game. Irvin Santana in yesterday's game against the Toronto Blue Jays. Spectacular first one of the season. Complete game, his 6th of his career. Should have been a complete game shutout. A 3-2 off-speed pitch to Adam Lynn. Hit the home run. He still got the CG and the W.
Boy, what life he had on that fastball, too. He didn't throw 96, 97, but he had that 92, 93 with movement. Great, great slider.
Johnny Damon 1 for 3 with a single. Well at the century mark.
71 strikes.
Popped up. Long run out for Ibar. Here comes Rivera. Nobody can get it. It falls in there. Damon can't see the baseball, so he stays at first.
Well, Johnny Damon can get more of those flares into the outfield because he has that long swing, and it freezes an outfield to think it's going to be hit further. But his perfect location, there's no way anybody can come in and make that play on that fly ball. As Johnny's smiling again. That long swing, as an outfielder, even an infielder, you think we crushed that ball, but just off the end of the bat.
Now you've got to be careful with Maglio Ordonez at the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a single in the 6th inning. That pitch upstairs for ball 1. Right-hander Kevin Jepson is up and loosening for the Angels. He's just about ready to go.
Discussion on the mound now to give Kevin Jepson more time. And also discussion, what pitch you want to throw here in this spot behind the count. I was a believer late in the game, so far has been outstanding for Pinheiro with 7 1/3, is make him hit to the big part of the ballpark. Stay on the outside part of the plate. Don't get down around the knees.
That is yanked foul.
That's the dangers of coming inside, especially when your stuff might not be quite as good late in the game when you're over that 100 pitch mark.
And the difference being that at this time last year, you could knock the bat out of Maglio's hands. He was going that bad. He struggled through the WBC, never got it on track. And he was getting crushed inside.
Quicker hands this year.
And that is out to center field. Here comes Torrey Hunter, and he'll play it on the hop. Not sure if he perhaps lost that a little bit, but well, you think when he's tracking it as well as he was coming in, more times than not, he's going to go out there and get it. Mike Scioscia out. He's going to make the move to the bullpen.
And big swing, inside part of the plate, jamming this enough. You know, when you have a single ball pitcher, you're more apt not to dive for a ball like that and assume he's going to get another ground ball.
Angels baseball is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's new grilled sandwiches, the turkey bacon cheddar or the deli trio at participating restaurants. By Toyota. Get a great deal on Toyota's full line of hybrid and fuel-efficient vehicles at your Toyota dealer today. And by Lowe's. Experience Lowe's. Let's build something together. Kevin Jepsen takes over on the hill for Yoel Pinheiro, pitching in his 8th game, a 3.38 ERA. He's in a little bit of a tough situation with Miguel Cabrera at the plate. 2 on. Good pitch there, right at the knees, and it's no balls and a strike.
Well, Cabrera expecting that 96, 97 mile an hour fastball, but Jepsen threw that cut fastball at 91. Late break to it.
Cabrera is 1 for 3, had a double in the 4th. On the ground, up the first base line. Kendry Morales has got it. Flip over to Jepsen to get the out. What a heck of a play by Kendry Morales.
That's a tough play. Especially when you're playing against Cabrera, you think he's going to drive the ball up the middle of the left field. You're playing off that base, chopper right down the line. Another cut fastball. Look how far away he was from the line and still stayed with that. And has the presence to make a solid throw to Jepsen. That was not easy.
Nope. 2 outs, 2 on now at second and third for Carlos Guillen, the DH. He takes down low for ball 1. 7 1/3, longest outing for Pinheiro on the season. He is responsible for both guys on base. Damon at third, Ordonez at second. Fastball just missed outside. 2-0.
Well, that was a pretty good pitch. Just missed. Just off the outside corner.
There's a strike. Pumping in a lot of fastballs. That one at 96.
Still believe it. That's the best pitch in baseball. A well-located fastball, particularly when you can throw it 96 and 97.
The 2-1. Breaking ball. Yellow hammer in for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Well, that's not bad either for that.
The numbers for the Tigers this season and tonight. Damon Ordonez, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on Guillen. The old do or die breaking pitch in the dirt that may have gotten Jeff Mathis a little bit.
Well, that's a great job. That pitch is way in front of the plate. That's what Kevin Jepsen has done so far this year on occasion, overthrowing that curveball. You still got to trust your ability to get your mechanics right.
Mike Scioscia's going to come out and check Mathis. And it looks like it got him on the bare hand. Those are sometimes you get those right on the spot and you barely feel your hand. Tough to curl the fingers around.
Neville had taken a look at it, making sure you could tell by the grip. Again, he knew that breaking pitch was coming, Jeff Mathis, and he knew he was going to be in a position to have to try to block it. And he had his body squared up, but the baseball, when it spins on the breaking pitch, it'll go away from him. He got the bare hand, Jeff Mathis.
And you're taught as always to keep that hand behind your back, the body, because of where that pitch was, and just trying to throw it out there to block that pitch. The hand kind of snuck out from behind the back, and the ball ended up finding it. But Jeff is all right. Full count on Guillen with 2 outs. See if they get him here. The pitch. Fastball right back to Jepsen. There's the 3rd out of the inning. Nicely done. 2 on and 1 out. Kevin Jepsen saves it, at least the 8th inning, for that guy, Yoel Pinheiro. Angels still up 2-0.
Did a great job. He did give up 9 hits, but he scattered them. He fielded position very well. No walks, including 4 strikeouts. Maybe not quite as good as far as his sinking fastball, but his other secondary pitches were very effective tonight. The curveball, the slider, and the split.
Eddie Bonine, who came on in the 7th inning, is back out here in the 8th to face the top of the order. Ibar, Abreu, and Hunter. Dontrell Willis got the start for the Tigers. Went 6 innings. Gave up both runs, both earned on 4 hits. Ibar bunting one up the third base line. Inge with the barehanded play. Terrific play by the Tiger third baseman. One away.
Maybe the 2 best as far as coming in on a bunt like that would be Brandon Inge and Adrian Beltre. Very comfortable coming in and fielding with the bare hand and making a strong throw.
Here's Bobby Abreu. And by the way, Ibar with that ground out, trying to bunt his way on. Now, 0 for 4. Hopefully, hate to say this, he doesn't get another opportunity back, and that snaps his 8-game hitting streak.
Start another one up tomorrow.
Why not? Fernando Rodney's up and loosening. Looking for that 4th save and be doing it against his former mates.
Last year for the Tigers, 37 of 38 for saves and save opportunities.
Bobby had an RBI on the fielder's choice in the 3rd inning, his 8th of the year. Outside, 3 balls and a strike.
A number of knuckleballs.
Yep. He's been a starter at times in the big leagues. 3-1 on the ground to first. Out number 2. Go back to our FoxSportsWest.com poll question. Will the Angels hit more than the 173 long ones that they hit last year? 90% saying yes, Mark Gubicza.
Well, Kendry said yes. I just waited to this last moment to be able to tell you that. He said, yes, we're going to hit more than 173.
Voting is still ongoing. We'll have the results in our postgame show. Torrey Hunter takes upstairs for ball 1. Torrey 1 for 3, had a double in the 3rd. On a ground to 3rd to Hopper. And the Angels go down in order in the 8th. We head to the 9th. The Halos with a 2-0 lead, turning the ball over to the closer, Fernando Rodney, trying to make it 4 in a row.
Well, very good in save situations so far for the Halos, and of course last year for the Tigers, 37 to 38. ERA high right now, but that was in a non-save situation. Fastball has been very good at 94, 95. Changeup, unhittable in the low 80s.
He'll face Brandon Inge to start things off here, followed by Alex Avila. Scott Sizemore, the scheduled 3 for Jim Leyland's Tigers. Rodney first got to the big leagues with the Tigers back in 2002. First pitch fastball is in tight. As part of that World Series team, the American League champion Tigers in 2006. They went down to the St. Louis Cardinals. Zinge takes a strike, and it's 1-1. When Brian Fuentes went on the disabled list, who, by the way, threw 1 inning in a rehab appearance today in Rancho. Fernando was called upon. He's done a nice job since. That is upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Mike Scioscia was asked that question before the game, and he said Brian Fuentes is their guy, their closer. He's loving the job that Fernando Rodney has done, and will continue to be a big part of that bullpen.
2-1 on the ground. Ibar's got it. 1 out.
Well, you look at what the starters have done in the last 4 games. Jarrett starts it off with 7 innings, 2 earned runs. Joe Saunders, no earned runs in 8. What about Irvin Santana? This complete game, 1 earning. And Joel Pinheiro just dominant once again. Well, it was good to see Irvin go out and put a performance like that. And Joe, too, getting that confidence going. It's all about that competition among starters. It's friendly competition, but it makes everyone better.
Dropping that changeup in there for strike 1. Avila 0 for 3, including a strikeout. On the inside corner.
It's nasty, that changeup. Outside corner, inside corner. Time to elevate a fastball. Change the eye level, get out of the zone with it.
That's fouled off the left. Count remains at 0 balls, 2 strikes.
But now that you did that, change the eye level, and that's when you come right back with that changeup. See if you expand the strike zone, go off the outside corner maybe with it.
Boy, the Angels managing just 4 hits in this game. All off Dontrell Willis, but making it count. Avila shoots one out to left center field. Rivera is there, 2 outs. That'll bring up Scott Sizemore, the second baseman. Trying to get to 500. Angels coming into this one with a 6-7 mark on the heels of the sweep in Toronto. Trying to finish this one off, trying to make it 4 in a row and get to 7-7. This after a 2-5 start in that opening week homestand. The Twins and the A's. 1-0. Fastball right down Broadway. It's 1-1.
With some movement, too. That's what impressed me so far about Rodney. That fastball, not only with the velocity, but the movement it has on that pitch.
Sizemore had a hit in the 7th. The 1-1 upstairs. Pumping up to 95.
Overthrew that pitch a bit. Mechanics. Came out of wax straight up and down on his delivery. Wants to bend that back. Reach out. Throw that strike. Make him hit his way on.
Boy, what a great pitch. At the knees. 2-2.
Boy, unfair. Changeup on the outside part of the plate at 83.
Shot foul. Going back with the fastball.
Late swing. Santana looking on. See if Rodney can close it out.
Check swing. Looked like he went around. He did! Light that baby up again. 2-0 shutout of the Tigers, and the Angels are 7-7 on the season.
Well, you win a game in which you get 4 hits and 2 runs against a powerful Tiger lineup. But Pinheiro set the tone, made some adjustments during the course of the game. Jepson solid, Rodney even better. It's that check swing fastball. Sizemore looking for the changeup, got the express and the ring up.
Picking up that 4th save, Fernando Rodney. He has been solid. Climbing the ladder on Scott Sizemore, picking up the victory, 2-0. On the heels of the great outing by Irvin Santana yesterday, Saunders on Saturday, Weaver on Friday, and all of a sudden Angel starters on a roll right now, Gooby.
Boy, hitting their spots, being aggressive, trusting their defense. And that infield defense has been very good for the Halos. And of course, Pinheiro helped himself out, making some quality plays at the mound, getting a couple double plays from Mike Socha and the boys.
Yoel Pinheiro, with his 7 1/3 tonight, picks up his 2nd win of the season. Not only that, will lower that ERA. He came in with a 2.77 mark. He was spectacular. Kevin Jepson, credit him as well for a solid 8th inning. Terrific job with 2 men on, getting Cabrera and Guillen. And, of course, Fernando Rodney doing a great job. A 3-out 9th inning, picks up the save. We send it down to Michael Eaves, who's with